Hey, welcome to the Curious Native Podcast. I'm your host, Tuna Smakathin, and today we will be discussing the topic of spirit animals and why non-natives should stop using it. Before I start this episode today, I just want to say that today I feel so much more prepared than I have before. Not to say that I haven't been prepared for my other episodes. Every episode I did my research. I sat down and I took my time with it, and it all meant, every episode that I have made means so much to me. Even if the audio quality isn't the best in the first two episodes, I am going to admit that. It sounds better now because I'm just using a different mic. The other mic it wasn't working out. Here we are. I also wanted to take a time out of this episode just to kind of talk about the fact that I'm not actually sure how many episodes there are going to be this season. I do plan on doing multiple seasons. My main goal to begin with was 20 episodes, but if by the time I get to, the 9th episode, I decide that, I'm starting to get a bit tired out, I will just, season finale will be on the 10th episode. I'm just going to make that clear because I've been having a lot of ideas and a lot of research backlogged for future episodes. I already have the next episode planned out. I'm not gonna say what it is quite yet, but it is gonna be a good one. I do want to make that 100%. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. So I just think we should get right into it. Well, for starters, what is a spirit animal? A spirit animal in certain North American indigenous cultures is a spiritual guide, and that's all I can honestly say, because it depends from tribe to tribe, and not all tribes have, that's not a practice that's in all tribes. Not every tribe, and we're not, I think the term is indigenuity. That's not, I know film and TV has a lot of people thinking that's the way it is, IRL, but that's just not the truth whatsoever. And, all I can really say, because, like I said, it's going to vary to tribe to tribe, is that it's usually considered a big honor and is something that is taken very seriously and should be treated very seriously. Which leads me into the next question. What's the issue with non-natives saying spirit animal or them using it metaphorically to identify themselves with an object, person, or character? What is the issue with that? And like I said earlier, spirit animals are a big deal. To get a spirit animal is a big honor and should be treated as a serious matter, not something that should be joked about. I know in today's day age, it's nice and hunky-dory to go around talking about and making fun of different spiritual beliefs, especially for atheists. And I don't even think this issue is technically connected to that, but I do think there, there's two sides to a coin, and I think that is one of the sides to that. Unfortunately, non-natives taking spirit animals and appropriating it isn't surprising. This isn't a one-on-one, one-to-one type comparison that I'm about to make, but it is one that I think should be mentioned. Take dream catchers, for example, a spiritual item that was created by the Ojibwe people to, catch negative dreams, that has been appropriated and watered down to the point that they have metal rings and can be bought at any chain establishment. You could walk into a liquor store and literally buy a dream catcher. And I know that is not the same thing as linguistic forms of appropriation. That's physical appropriation. I say it's more akin to the appropriation of a headdress, maybe, that has its own spiritual meanings as well. And, somebody taking that and watering it down to the point that it's a Halloween costume, I think is more akin to that. But at the same time, it's all appropriation, and regardless if it's physical or if it's, linguistic, like I said, it's not a good thing and it needs to be talked about. To finish this off and to get to my point, non-native and even native, and even some natives shouldn't appropriate this honor and then turn it into a joke. I mean, I've even seen some natives compare disrespecting the belief and right of spirit animals to disrespecting a Purple Heart. And even though I'm not a patriot, like, whatsoever, I mean, if I see somebody burning a flag, I'm not gonna cry out in the streets. First Amendment, is that the First Amendment? Free speech? I believe so. I should know that. I'm a grown-ass man. I need to know these things. That is not okay. But, to get back to the point, I can at least see that view since it's about honor and achievement, the Purple Heart and spirit animal, if you take it to that 101. So, if you're not going to disrespect a Purple Heart, why would you go out and disrespect spirit animals? And even though I said that was gonna be that was done, I did want to read this quote from this article. Let me see what it's called. Is spirit animal offensive? Here's why you should remove it from your vocabulary. It's by wellandgood.com, which I know there's been some drama in the past by them, but I do think that this quote is worth reading. So let me see. How pop culture is delegitimizing words like tribe, which is a good point that, that's like such a one-to-one thing that I wish I would have thought of and I should have brought it up, but I'm gonna read it. Quote, spirit animal isn't the only linguistic form of cultural appropriation linked to native culture that's been widely commoditized. The word tribe, commonly used in white yoga and wellness circles to signify a group like-minded people, is also harmful given the loaded history behind it. Initially, the federal government recognized indigenous people as legitimate nations because that's what we are, Luger says, referring to the period following the American Revolution. But in later stages of colonialism, she adds, the word tribe was imposed upon indigenous people as a way of delegitimizing them. It's this complicated thing because within native communities, of course, we still use the term. It's hard to erase the meaning of something that we have been using for 500 years. But when white people use the term in a playful way now, then we feel further delegitimized in our nationhood, and that's why it's offensive. The same goes for words and phrases such as chief, powwow, and Indian style, all of which McGade Morgan's Instagram followers recently commented on, which she reposted an educational series on indigenous microaggressions. Terms such as tribe, chief, or powwow are often used to reference friend groups, leaders, managers, or gatherings, respectively. Ferguson said the issue remains that there are sacred and internal parts of native, indigenous, and aboriginal cultures that people from outside of those cultures often take, misapply, and subsume as a part of their language. A gathering or a meeting is not a powwow. Which is such a perfect, they put it perfectly. Which, I mean, speaking on that, the reason why I think I have such an issue with people using this term is, like they said, it does actual harm to communities. It delegitimizes us. And I think that's why, people have such an issue, especially, that's why indigenous and native communities in North America have such an issue with people saying it, and especially celebrities. I mean, I have a article here from BT that's about Kerry Washington, who ended up apologizing for using the term spirit animal. The actress was accused of cultural appropriation. Shortly after the post went public, several of her followers set her mentions ablaze, saying that it was an offensive way for her to share her appreciation of Winslet in the film. What movie was it? Kate Washington in world renowned for her role in one of the hottest programs on primetime television, Scandal, but ironically enough, the A-list actress has always managed to steer clear of major Hollywood mess. That is, until now, sort of, after seeing the new Steve Jobs film, an excited Washington tweeted, Kate Winslet, who stars in the film, is her spirit animal. Okay, there it is. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't agree. You know, a lot of people I think white liberals like to take certain things and run with it, especially, and don't get me wrong, I think white people talking about indigenous issues and, you know, putting them in the spotlight is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining about the white people who exploit these issues and, you know, make them into the joke that a lot of these conservatives are like, especially because then now when we talk about it, especially in the Twitter spaces, you always get people being like, I bet you're not even native. Why are you speaking for native communities? And then they'd be telling people that they don't look native, da-da-da. Like, dude, it's like racism on top of racism on top of racism. If you're going to talk about these issues, and you're not native, I do believe you need to, one, stride lightly. Do not speak over indigenous voices. Do not speak for us. And do not speak over us. That's like, you know, those are the main things that I think when speaking on these type of issues, non-natives need to think about. And honestly, that's all I got to say for this episode. I know it was quite short, and I'm sorry. It isn't, to make like an hour-long episode would be so much hard work. It would take weeks upon weeks of research, and, you know, this episode took me about 4 days. That's already half the week. So if I wanted to do like a whole hour episode, that would be, you know, maybe that's something I could think about in the future. Maybe for the next, I don't know, maybe for the next season. For now, these episodes are gonna be anywhere from 6 to maybe 30 minutes. And, ooh, almost dropped the mic. And if they go any longer, then, you know, that's a big treat, and I'm gonna be very proud of myself for that. I do want to say that the next episode, not the one that I was trying to plug earlier, but it's gonna be a bonus episode that I'm gonna be reading spooky stories. I had kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago about a fun spooky episode where I was reading scary stories off from the Reddit No Sleep. I wanted to read one that I truly thought was terrifying that I had read at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was chilling, smoking a cigar, chilling outside, just reading, which is, no, you don't do that. You don't sit on the porch when it's nighttime smoking and reading scary stories. It usually won't end up good. And since it freaked me out so much, I'm gonna read that. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Huskasman Aithian. Follow the official podcast Twitter page at capital TCN, capital P, lowercase OD. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.